right, what is going on today, chat? Another day. What is going on today, chat? Whoa, hold up. Another day. What is going on today, chat? Whoa, hold up. Another day. What is going on today, chat? Alright, let's see if you guys are hearing me twice again. I don't know where that was coming from. Let's see if you guys are you are still. Where am I playing? You are still. Where am I playing? The joys of streaming, chat. Trying to find out where the audio is coming from. I think we got it. I think we got it. Alright. Well, what's up, chat? I think we discovered, even though it was muted, it was not truly muted. So, sorry about that. What's going on, chat? How are we doing? Hopefully the vibes are good. Paul, my man, what's going on, brother? Ugh. Got a lot of cards to look at today, so we're just going to get right on into it. We got some Shining T-Tars, we got some Umbreons, we got a ton of cards. Well, welcome back, man. Feel like it's been a minute since you've been able to tune into a stream. Hopefully all is doing well. We have a few things that we're going to be going over today. First, we're going to do grade review. We got some pricing 101 topics, and then we're going to be doing a grade reveal. I got a new PSA submission back, and we're going to be reviewing that live. So, all fun stuff. All right, so without further ado, if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Galaxy Gaming, and every Wednesday I do what's called grade review, where I help pre-grade your cards that you submit in the Discord absolutely, positively for free. So we're about to see that right now. Starting off with my man, the myth, the legend, Mike, who is a pilot subscriber over on Discord. So Mike, thank you as always, my friend. And let's get into this Shining Tyranitar. So a few tools I'm going to be using today is the snipping tool. So we're going to be able to highlight and circle and poke and prod this Shining Tyranitar, making sure that it is as well reviewed as we possibly can, so that you guys can also learn what's going on. And so if there's any questions that you guys have throughout the process, please feel free to let me know in the chat, and I'd be more than happy to answer as many questions as I possibly can. And if you like what you're seeing, I always appreciate some likes and shares and all that fun stuff. Feed the almighty algorithm. And we are going to get right into it. So first off, the Shining Tyranitar from Neo Destiny. Unlimited, not the first edition, but the Unlimited. Still a cool card. So let's get right into it. So centering on this bad boy is pretty good, actually. So let's take a look at the corners. So how I like to do this now is I like to kind of visually check mark some of these spots here. So that spot's good. So we have a little bit of something here. It's almost like a little bit of a fold. And so, let's see. So that left edge. Left edge looks good. Did I check off? So check that corner. Bottom left corner looks good. Bottom edge looks good. Bottom right corner looks good. Right side looks good. So let's look at the surface now. So the corners and edges, that's what we looked at so far. So let's see if there's anything else. Possible some dirt there. But is there anything else on the texture, or the text rather? It doesn't look like it, so that's good. So as we look at the Tyranitar specifically, Mike, welcome in. The front view looks good, but there are multiple views here. So let's take a look at the other angle. And let's see if there's anything that we have to look at for this bad boy on this side. And so far, so good on the front of that Shining Tyranitar, so nothing to be concerned with on that angle. And as for this angle, we have what appears to be some scratches up here. So right in that section, and a little bit of some possible paint or ink layer removal on that side. But aside from that, the Tyranitar itself is actually in pretty good shape. So that's good. So now that we have looked at that, there's another angle that we have. This one's a really good shot at that Tyranitar. So let's take a look at the more of the texturing side. And nothing really to write home about there. And for those of you who might be tripped up, this is not a scratch. That is actually part of the artwork in this section right there. In the past, I used to think that was a scratch, but I've learned, chat. I've learned. All right, so we looked at the front. Let's look at the back side now. And this is a good example of some whitening. But first, let's look at the centering. Centering is actually really good, so we don't have to worry about that. So on this right side, we have that bit of whitening, and this possibly has some whitening on this side. But check that off. Top edge, we have, looks like within that range. But aside from that, pretty good. Some notable whitening on that top left corner. Check that top off. Check that off. Left side, maybe something right there. Left edge, keep looking, keep looking. Got a little bit of whitening there. Then bottom edge. Got a little white dot there. Bottom right corner looks good. Right edge looks really clean. And let's look at the surface. So surface, have a little bit of ink layer removed here. I feel like I can't make my circle, so we're going to have to use the circle tool, which is right there. So a little bit of ink layer removed on that, but not too crazy. Next, I'm kind of looking at the Pokemon text here. Sometimes some dirt pops up there every now and again, but that looks to be okay. Bottom side looks good. All right, and I think you had some other angles as well. This is going to show more of any scratches on the card specifically, as well as probably some whitening on that bottom right that we didn't see on the other images. And this one, more of that whitening that we highlighted in the first picture. So we got that. So this one is good to show some scratches on the surface that we otherwise couldn't see on the other pictures here. So let's take a look at that. And we do have a little bit of something there, as well as something there. Then this one we can actually see a little bit better. So yeah. So those are the marks that we have seen on the Tyranitar. So let's kind of do a quick review here. So the front is actually really good shape. Centering is great. The only thing that I really saw was kind of like a small little fold here on that top left edge in this section. So we're kind of in that 8 range. But aside from that, and aside from this potential little bit of dirt here, card's looking in really good shape. But there was also another angle that we saw some scratching in this section. So I'd say right off the bat with the scratching on the front, that little fold on the top left, or what appears to be a little fold on the top left, as well as some of this ink layer removed, we're probably looking to start at like a 7 as we kind of look at this card here. So let's look at the back. So the back side, we have some pretty notable whitening here based off of the circle. So we have 2 points of whitening on the top right corner, some on this top edge, a little minor to major whitening in that top left corner, a little bit of something on that left edge, minor to major whitening on that bottom left. But aside from that, everything else is pretty minimal. There is a scratch here on this angle, but nothing to be overly concerned with. So at the end of the day, it really kind of boils down to, you know, our safe range is anywhere between, I don't think it would be considered near mint plus, nor do I think it'd be considered moderately played or heavy played by any means. So we're kind of in that 7 to 6 range on this one. But I'd probably lean more towards the 7 than the 6. Only because the edges are actually really clean and the Tyranitar itself is in really good shape. The only things that are giving us some issues is this potential kind of pack fold along the edge here on that top left side. But the Tyranitar, again, itself is in really good shape. And then just some of the mild whitening and some of those major dots on the back, that would probably prevent it from getting that 8 or higher. But I think a 7 for that bad boy would probably be a really good assessment, in my opinion. So that'd be my guess on this bad boy. Probably be a 7, just because of the whitening and whatnot on the back. All right, next up, you have the Machamp and the Marshadow. So let's take a look at this bad boy. Tag team's kind of going crazy right now. So let's see here. So we got that, and that. Perfect. All right, Marshadow and Machamp. Let us take a look. So right off the bat, centering is really good. Corners looking good. That top right corner looks good. Top edge looks good. Kind of just looking at the corners and edges here. Those look really good shape. Yeah, the whole card looks really good. The only thing that I see, and I'll probably have to kind of take a little bit of a snip here, is I want to just make sure that in the armpit of the Marshadow isn't anything. Maybe looks like maybe a bit of hair or something like that would be my guess. Right in that section. That looks to me more of like hair than anything, but nothing to be overly concerned with, I don't think. Because aside from that, I don't see anything. Maybe just like, again, some quick passes with the microfiber cloth to kind of remove that little bit of like whitening underneath the fighting energy. Or, I don't know, on this right side, stuff like that. But all in all, looks pretty good on the front. Now the back, let's take a look at the back side. And let's take a gander. So the back centering looks good. Top right corner, it looks good. We do have some scratches in this top middle section. Top left looks good. Middle looks good. That left side looks good. Bottom left looks good. Bottom looks good. Yeah, just these little white specks and all this stuff that you can probably just get cleaned off with that microfiber that we're talking about. But yeah, it's really just more of like easy cosmetic stuff, with the exception of all of this in this top section here. So I'd probably say, you know, I don't think it's near mint or 7 by any means, but I don't think this would get you the mint 9 or higher, only because of that top left section. So depending on how bad that is in person, I don't know if it's just the light making it worse than it appears. And all these like little specks that you can probably wipe off. I'd probably give it more of an 8. 8 to a 7, depending on how bad some of that surface issues on the back are. But it doesn't really look that bad. You know what I mean? But probably like 7 or an 8 range for this guy. And then if they are looking like if this looks as bad as what I'm seeing here, but I just think it's the lighting, it'd probably be more of a 7 than an 8. But if it's really just kind of the lighting that's really making that thing pop, it'd probably be more of an 8. Would be my guess for that bad boy. And next, ooh, you also have one of these Umbreon GXs. I used to have 2 of them, but sold one at a show not too long ago. Oh, it's a scratch instead of a hair? Okay. Well, good looks then. All right, Umbreon GX. Let's see here. Centering looks good. Maybe a little bit thicker on that left side. Let's actually the first measurement of the night. So let's measure that real quick here. Do that one. Perfect. So let's take a quick measure. So the left side is about from there to there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tick marks on the left side. And this one's a little bit tricky because it is at like a weird angle. So if people are wondering why I'm adjusting the ruler to essentially point towards the middle, I have to. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So 4.5 on the right, 5 on the left. So if our math is mathing, so 5 plus 4.5, so 9.5 of the sum. So we divide 5 divided by 9.5 gives us a roughly 53.53 or 53.47. So the Umbreon is safe. It is within the range, chat. It is within the range. So let's take a look at the rest of the card. Corners look good. Top part looks good. Let's look at that left edge. Left edge, good. Bottom corner, good. Bottom edge, good. Bottom right corner, good. Right side, good. And for those of you who are frequent flyers here, I am doing a grade review or grade reveal at the end of stream, so make sure to stick around for that. But the front of the Umbreon looks good, my man. Let's see, a little bit thicker on that right side or on the left side than the right. But again, the back is more lenient than the front. We got some hairs that are probably gone at this point. You can kind of see some of these in this section here. So some of those hairs there. But the corner looks good. The edges look good. So it's really, I think, it just looks like that there's just like some little bits of white fuzzies kind of stuck to the back of the card. But to be honest, this card looks pretty good. Now, if they stay to the book, the back shouldn't give you any issues. Even though this left side, you know, is thicker than the right, the back should be way more lenient if we're going to the playbook here, the PSA playbook. Whoa. I don't know what that was. I know what it was. I was trying to save something. I didn't want to save anything. That's all my pictures. Let's see. A little bit of some dirt possibly on that O there. But I mean, if you can get rid of like a lot of the things that I've circled, which they all look to be pretty removable, I think you should be pretty good at this thing being a possible 10 contender. Unless there's something up with, you know, as long as there's something up with the, on the front that we can't see, but based off of what I could see, it looked pretty good. Centering looked good. So yeah, I would say this one would be a possible 10 contender for sure. If it holds up to what we're seeing on the stream. And then the only thing that I think I just missed, though, I don't know if I accidentally didn't click on this. This is another angle. Yeah, those two little spots are popping up here as well. Because those don't look like, maybe those are surface scratches on this right side. None of them. Sorry, I missed that one, probably the one photo that probably would have mattered in that situation is on the back. Let me catch that again. My apologies. I think I got 3 of them, but I missed the last one. So it's these right here, which is boom, 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 and possibly in that section, more specifically here. To me, that probably looks like maybe some surface issues on that right side, but they're so faint, I really can't tell. But if those, basically what I circled and what I've highlighted can't be removed, you're probably looking at a 9 or an 8, depending on the severity. But again, the light is a little bit harder to really focus on the top side here, to gauge the severity of those. But if they can be removed, you know, my initial statement kind of stays true. But if it can't, like if those surface issues are kind of stuck on there, then you're probably looking more of like a 9, maybe an 8, depending on if it's really bad in person. They wiped off? Okay, perfect. Then don't mind my yapping then. All right, next off is Mew V. Mew V. Let us first measure that bottom, because that bottom looking thick. That bottom of that Mew looking thick, boy. Let's see. So we're going to line it right up there, like around there. Boom. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the bottom. And then on the top, we got from here to about there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4-ish. 4-ish. So you're going to be in that range of, at the almighty hands of PSA. If they round up, you're screwed. If they don't, or they round down, you're safe, my friend. So you're kind of on that line on the bottom. But 4-ish, I think you're probably good. The Mew, it probably is. I mean, there is a shadow on the bottom, which indicates that it's probably curling a little bit towards the camera on the bottom side, so maybe it gives that illusion. So it might be good. All right, let's look at the back, because the front of that looks good. Nothing to be concerned with on that right side. That texture is great. Let's look at the back. See if we see anything. Let's see how that backside looks. All right, same song and dance. You know the drill. Fuzzy. Top right looks good. Possible fuzzy. This is all texturing because of the light, but good. Corner good. Possible fuzz. Left side looks good. Something stuck there on that bottom Pokeball. Left side, it looks good. Corner looks good. Bottom good. Fuzzy. Bottom right good. Maybe something here. We got like here, here, and like right there. I don't know why it looks like a bug, but it does. The bugs are coming out. Centering is good. All right, my friend. Boom. Anything else, chat? Anything else? Text looks good. Texture looks good. Those will really be the only things that I see, my friend. They're just those little white specks on the back. That if you can get rid of those, you are in the green. You are in the 10 range, would be my guess. But if you cannot, then you're in the 9s. But a lot of what I circled looks like you can probably just wipe that off. So there's a quick snippet of some of the things that I saw on the backside. And then this was more of like whitening around in this section. But yeah. They look good. They look good. Everything with that top left won't come off with a Pokeball, but I'll work on it a little. All right. Report back, soldier. But those are my guesses, my friend, on your stuff. And as always, you know the drill. I always appreciate you, brother. Being a sub and support and whatnot. So let's go to the non-subs now, to Hannah Lee. With some Hannah heat of the Prismatic. My guess is that she opened up a God pack. Whew. You know I like me some swirls, my friend. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, if anyone is new, if you have any questions about anything I'm doing, about grade review, or wondering about anything Pokemon related, vendor related, like why I think trade up challenges are a joke and that it should stop because they are dumb, let me know. Do you agree, disagree? I think trade up challenges are cringe and they've been overstayed their welcome. There, I said it. That's my hot button. That's what gets people's social media hyped. But here we go. Umbreon EX. Let us take a look. Front side. Front side looks good. Maybe not. One of the issues of having it on a white background, but we're going to do our best. So my assessment can't be too accurate. Let's see. So here are the first things I see, chat, on this Umbreon EX. I see, and it might be lighting, but I don't know, is whitening up there. There and there. But I don't know if it's lighting or not. My guess, it's lighting, but we are going to flip it over and we are going to see for ourselves. And it might be lighting. But let's take a look. Boom. Backside. And on the backside of this Umbreon, welcome in, welcome in. Backside of this bad boy. No whitening there, no whitening there. No whitening there. Some stuff stuck there. Some stuff stuck here. Good, 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 good. Something stuck. Surface looks good. Yeah, the only thing that I would say, Hannah, is that the front is a little spooky. A little spooky. I don't know if it's because of the lighting or the background or what, but those areas that I've circled in the bottom right-hand corner, those both, as well as that top right, and on that left side, I don't know if it's lighting. I don't know if it's whitening. It's always a fun game to play when we're looking at cards online. So I want to say it's between a 9 or a 10. If those things are not present on the front of the card, you got a pretty good 10 contender. It was pretty well centered on the front and the back. And I didn't see any notable whitening on the back. More predominantly the corners, so that's really good. But it's really just that front that I'm a little spooked on. So that's your homework assignment. And I'm just letting you know. That's your homework assignment. All right, Vaporeon EX. Let's take a look. Same little bit of whitening on the left side as we saw on that Umbreon, possibly. So let me highlight it so you guys can see exactly what the frig I'm talking about. This right there. So whitening there. I think that's good. It's just I genuinely believe it's just the lighting giving these like weird issues. But something weird there. Something stuck there. So that corner's good. Bottom edge good. Bottom right corner is good. Right side good. Rest of the card looks to be okay. Very nice on that Vaporeon. So let's take a look at the back. And while I take a sip of beverage, who wants to tell me why this card would not get a 10? Are there any brave warriors out there who sees why this Vaporeon may not get the 10 just because of the back? Let's see. Let's see if you guys, hopefully you guys can see it on stream. And again, this is always my biggest pet peeve in this silly little hobby we call Pokemon. Just because it is packed fresh does not mean that it's a 10. And this is a very good example. The corners, I am seeing that as well. Tuna, my main man. Because we are seeing whitening on the top right. We are seeing whitening on the bottom right. And we're seeing whitening in the bottom left. In addition to all the other fuzzy stuff. So, we have what appears to be 1, 2, 3 points of very, very mild whitening. Which will prevent this card from getting a 10. At least it should. Normally, if it's just one of those white dots, you're looking more of like what I like to call a gambler's 10. Sometimes they 10, sometimes they don't. But we have at least 3 points of whitening on the back, which most likely tells us that it will not get the 10. So in Modern, don't let anyone fool you. It is 10 or bust in this hobby if you're trying to sell these cards and try to grade them. Most vendors will, for Modern specifically, will not take 10s unless that's just what their niche is or if they have a market for it. Because the quality of Modern is so high compared to Vintage that if it's not a 10, it is not as desirable. So, I do not think your Vaporeon would get a 10 because of those whitening alone. So again, just because a card comes out of a pack does not mean it's a 10. So now let's look at the Sylveon EX. So centering on this bad boy looks a little thick on that left side compared to the right. But just in case, and I always recommend doing this in person or using app. There's 15,000 different apps, so you kind of use at your own discretion. But I'm an old boomer, man. I use a transparent ruler if I really feel like I can't eyeball it. So the left side is 1, 2, 3, 4 tick marks on the left side. Literally all I use in person is just a transparent ruler with millimeter markers. I don't go for black labels, so half the time I don't even use the dang thing. 1, 2, 3-ish on the right side. But again, this is at a weird angle, so we're going to have to take this with a grain of salt. But if you've never measured centering, you add those values together. So the 4 on the left side, 3 on the right, we get 7. Divide 4 divided by 7, we have 57. So if we were going to base our assessment on this picture with this measurement alone, technically it would not get a 10 because of the centering. But the angle in which the picture is being taken is also at a slight curve, like if I was kind of exaggerate it, kind of curved like this a little bit based off the picture. We kind of have to approach it as it could be off center, it could not be, kind of thing. So the front looks good aside from that. But on the back, if we look again, guys, it is plagued. It is the PSA Plague, a.k.a. the whitening on the back. Ladies and gentlemans. Ladies with gentle hands. There's a whitening there. Whitening there. Whitening for sure there. And stuff stuck there. Don't know what it is, but it's there, brother. So with that whitening, with some more stuff stuck there, not a 10, in my opinion, because we have at least 1, 2, 3 circles that can probably be addressed. At least right here, 1, 2, and 3. Those ones can probably be addressed by just wiping it off with a microfiber cloth. But the ones that I've written here on number 4, 5, and 6, those seem to be whitening that you cannot remove. So my guess on that one, I would also probably refrain from sending in, save your money, because it'll probably come back a 9, in my humblest of opinions. Next up is the Jolteon EX. You definitely opened up a God pack, because you've shown nothing but Jolteon EXs, or not Jolteon EXs. You've shown nothing but Prismatic SIR EXs, which is insane. Some of your guys' luck is cracked. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's a wart or what, but that will definitely prevent the 10 for sure, if that is something stuck on there. So bottom right looks good. Top right looks good. But yeah, just that little, like the little wart on that left side. On the back. On the back. Centering looks good. There's just a lot of fuzzies stuck. I'm getting Discord pings, guys. It's not you, it's me. For whoever is checking their Discord, wondering why they don't see their Discord notifications, it's me. April Fools. Top right, good. Some stuff stuck here, stuck here. Left corner, good. Left edge, good. We got Haboom. Boom. Boom, and boom. So all this stuff, ooh, we got a pretty gnarly bit of whitening on that bottom part. And some might be saying, Galaxia, you're being too picky. You're being too sensitive to whitening on these poor evolutions. Well, if I can see it, PSA can see it. So that's kind of the rule of thumb that everyone should kind of follow here. In all seriousness, right? Like the fact that we can see this on a screen and not in person, this little bit of whitening on this bottom edge will prevent, that alone will prevent this card from getting a 10. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is, to be quite honest with you, chat. So even though Jolteon's my favorite Pokemon and my favorite evolution, because of the little wart or whatever stuck on here on the top left, and the whitening on the back, it will probably not get the 10, most likely the 9 would be my guess. And then finally, the Glaceon EX. Will the Glaceon EX finally make it? Because we had the, I think the Umbreon, which I guess if you're going to pick one of them, you're going to want the Umbreon to have the closest shot. And I think for now, the closest shot is your Umbreon. But I just don't know for sure with the lighting that you've taken. But that's about it. But the centering on this one looks good. Corners look good. But it's really, and again, more of that kind of stuff stuck here. I think it's more, you're going to do wonders when you use a microfiber cloth to treat some of these cards. And I'm hoping this one is good for you. I always hate to be kind of the bearer of bad news, but that's what's kind of nice about these pre-grading grade reviews, chat, is I do my best to really critique, because if I'm critiquing these cards, PSA is going to critique them even harder, because they're going to actually have the card in person. So, for example, I don't know if that's whitening. It looks like whitening. That top right side. Something stuck there. Maybe there. Left edge, just more stuff stuck on the card. Yeah, I would recommend, and I recommend this to everyone, if you do not have a microfiber cloth as of right now, I highly, highly, highly recommend them. Because all those things that I just circled on here, probably with the exception of that one right there in the top right, all that can be wiped off, and it'll do you wonders when submitting to PSA from a grading perspective. So I think if that whitening is not there, you got a pretty good shot at a 10, to be quite honest with you. But if it is there and it's notable, you're kind of more of a 9. But if it's not as bad, you're probably at a gambler's 10. So you basically have 3 possibilities in this scenario, where if that's lighting, it's a 10. If it's minimal whitening, and that's the only corner that has it, you have a gambler's 10. And if it is more noticeable and the other stuff that I circle you cannot get off, then you're more likely on a 9 than a 10. But holy cannoli, Hannah. The fact that you're able to get an Umbreon EX, a Vaporeon EX, a Sylveon, Jolteon, and Glaceon EX is pretty dang impressive, to be quite honest with you. Because my luck is trash, and I can't open cards for crap. But thank you as always, Hannah. And next up we have Tabadius, with probably one of the fattest little pugs I've ever seen as a profile picture. And this one's probably my favorite, like, combo Pokemon artwork from X and Y of this kind of these secret rares. The Alakazam EX is for sure one of my faves. So let's take a look. Centering is good. Let's take a new little schnipperino here. So the front looking good, looking fresh. Top right corner looks good. Boom. Top, boom, good. Left, boom, good. That side good. Corner's good. Bottom's good. The corner's good. Right edge good. This smug little Lugia. Look at me, chat. Who says I can't trace? But aside from that, that front is really good, my man. So far, so good on this Alakazam EX. Let's take a look at the back. And, you even used a black background. Bravo. This makes things exponentially easier. Because now I can call out things like whitening. Like this one. Like right there. Or here. That's all lighting, so I'm going to ignore that. So little fuzzies there, some fuzzies there, some fuzzies here. Possible dirt there, but not too sure. Possible whitening here and here. Left edge, ooh, got some chunky whitening there. So right now we're kind of like in the 9s to 8 range. So I would say with that right here, that top right, as well as here, we're probably in that closer to a very strong 8 than a 9, especially with kind of these two here on that left side that I kind of have highlighted. So in this section here. So that was probably more between like a 9 or an 8, more so the 8 than a 9, just because of those 2 points of whitening. But you might be able to squeak away with it if you can get rid of some of this stuff on the edge and some of the stuff that I have circled on the surface of the card, then you should be good. You should be more closer to that 9. But it'd be more of like on the weaker side just because of the 2 points of whitening. But I would submit it, man. I think for that card, especially like 8 or higher, I'm sending that thing in all day, to be quite honest with you. All right, next up. Ooh, chat. The big dog has entered the arena. The Shining Zard. And like I said, after I'm done with grade review, I'm going to be going over how to price your cards. I feel like we need to have a little bit of a discussion, chat, on how to price our cards appropriately. And so we're going to be talking about that. And I have a new PSA grade submission that came back. So we get to go over that live. I've been trying very hard not to look at it, and it's been very tough not to. But I've been saving it for you guys. Aren't I nice? So, Shining Charizard. Let us take a look at this beaut, shall we, chat? Centering is looking pretty good. We're definitely within that 55-45 range. And we have, it looks like we have two different picture perspectives of this bad boy. So let's take a screenshot of this one so we can virtually draw all over it. So let's start with the top right. So the top right corner looks good. No dings or dents or anything like that. Now we go towards the surface, or the edge here, rather. The only thing that I'm kind of hesitant about is right in this kind of section, right about there. Almost looks like a very, very mild fold on that top edge. You can also kind of see it a little bit here in right about that section. But the corners look good as we go to the edge, and we'll get to the surface here in a second. Looks okay on that left side. Have a little bit of some hair action right here. Left corner looks okay. Bottom edge looks good. Maybe just clean that off. It looks like a little bit of dirt. Another, what appears to be a hair, but just want to make sure to wipe that off. Right side, right edge looks good. Now let's move on to the surface, because I'm definitely seeing some stuff on the surface. Like this looks like a little bit of, and I'm going to actually use the circle tool, because my silly little hands can't make accurate circles today, apparently. So we have that. We also have what appears to be, but I don't know if... That one I'm always unsure. I don't know if that's part of the artwork or not, but I don't think it is. But aside from that, we have some mild scratching in the flame area. I think you guys can probably see it. So more specifically, like right here, 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 and here. So those little scratches, I actually might do this just to kind of indicate those scratches. Use a different color here. So boom, 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 boom. And boom. So those are a little bit scratches in the tail specifically. But aside from that, maybe one right about there on the wing. But you also did take another angle, which is always super, super important when giving a accurate assessment during grade review. Because, for example, you can start to see things that we normally wouldn't have been able to see on the other one. It's a little bit blurry. But you can kind of see, for example, what I highlighted in the first picture in this section, you can kind of see a little bit more of what appears to be almost like a pack fold or a very, very mild edge fold. But you see that again. You see some of these scratches that I was kind of talking about before in the tail. Like boom, 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 boom. Like those right there. The scratch on the wing you can't really see anymore, just I think because of the lighting. But aside from that, that's really it. So the front, you know, all things considered, looks pretty good. Now the back, let's take a look at the back. So first we looked at the front of the Zard. Now we're taking a look at the back. So centering looks good. So again, for whatever reason, I like to start in the top right. So the top right corner looks good. We're starting to get a little bit blurry, so it's going to be a little bit harder to find whitening and such. But we have some here on that left side. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 very, very minimal points of whitening on that left side. Bottom left corner looks great. That can probably be wiped off. Again, I need to use a circle because I can't make circles apparently. Right there, boom. Left or right corner looks good. Wipe that off. Right corner or right edge looks good. Now there's a lot of stuff kind of stuck onto the surface that I saw. So definitely here, 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 and here. Those are pretty large or pretty noticeable. We got some right here and some right there as well. So the back of this is making it pretty rough. So I'd say, you know, in this range, I think we're out of the 8 range or higher. So I don't think it's near mint plus, but I don't think it's like heavy play or worse. So when I say kind of those two numbers or like those two conditions, we're in the range of a 7 to a 5 is the range that we are typically in when we're thinking just near mint, not near mint plus, but we're not in the heavy play. So when I say something's heavy play, I tend to believe that that's more of like the PSA 4 or worse range. So we're in that 7 to 5 range. So the first thing that I really saw was kind of that edge issue on the top here. And so that would be a really good indicator or a good example of what I like to use, like the humidor technique, to kind of plump that up a little bit, try to flatten that top edge out. That seems like a pretty easy task to do, but obviously you need to kind of have the tools to do it. But aside from that, it's really just a lot of the dirt on the back that can be easily removed with some distilled water, a microfiber cloth, or a Q-tip, in that kind of combination. A lot of this stuff can just simply be removed, in my opinion. Now, with the whitening on the edges, if we can kind of get rid of some of those things that I kind of talked about with that microfiber cloth or the distilled water, Q-tip, we're kind of in that 7 to 6 range, so we're starting to kind of get out of that 5 range. But the amount of whitening on the back, you know, I've kind of seen it go both ways. Between a 7 or a 6. Some people might say that, you know, a 6 might be too harsh. Others might say it's not, like, it's perfect. But I think with the state that it's currently in, aside from, you know, when I say something can be kind of cleaned, I think I kind of say as most people can do that, so I don't really consider that into the ultimate score. However, something like this on like the top edge, that's a little bit more advanced in nature. So I would say if I saw this on a card, that top lift, in addition to some of the whitening that we kind of highlighted on the backside, indicated by these green circles, I would probably say that unless left untreated on that top part, I'd probably be leaning more towards a 6 than a 7, to be quite honest with you. Because again, that top like little issue, that edge issue, is a little bit more of technically an advanced technique that I don't expect everyone to be able to do, because not everyone has like a humidor and a press and stuff like that. So kind of just keep that in mind. But if you can flatten that out, it would be in your best interest, in addition to wiping this stuff off, because you kind of bump your chances up to being a possible 7 contender. But that's as high as you can probably get, in my opinion. But in most cases, that's probably a 6. All right, so next up is ENZ Zorark EX. Let's take a look at this bad boy. Centering looks good. Now, one thing that I think you're highlighting that I don't know if it even matters because of the back, I'm just taking a look here, is you highlighted this right here. So it's a little bit of a ding on the top. So if that is actually a ding, your chances of this getting a 10 are not good. Because if you can see it, they can see it. So if that is an actual ding, then you're probably not looking at a 10. But if it's not, if it's part of like the texture, which in this case it doesn't look like it because it would be kind of smoother across like the rest of the top of the card is, probably not going to get that 10 because of that ding on the top. It's kind of one of those things where it is what it is. It happens to the best of us. But any ding like that you personally can even see, they're going to be able to see. And you also have like a little bit of a pack fold on that side too, in addition to right here as well. But yeah, it sucks, man. It happens, but I think because of it, you're probably not looking at a 10. To be quite honest with you. All right, Swabby. Swabby's turn in the sun with the War Turtle with a little bit of a thickness on the top, chat. A little bit of thickness on the top. Yo, what up, Waste? I know you get to finally see me in action. All right, War Turtle. Let's see if I can math. You also get to see, if you guys are new here, I am also streaming on Twitch, you can kind of see my Pokewall in the background. But let's measure one of these bad boys. So, the top, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the top. And then on the bottom's looking a little thin, chat. Looking a little thin. So we got boom to boom. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we have if I can draw 4, there we go. If we have a good boy PSA grader, so if we add both those values, so 9, but if we divide 5 divided by 9, we get 0.55. So they either round up or round down. If they round up, then GG's. If they don't round or they round down, then you're good. But you are right. That War Turtle, you are right on that line, my friend. You are absolutely right on that line. And I don't know if the camera or the picture that you took is like making this corner look really weird. This top left corner looks a little bit freaky. It almost looks like a little bit of like a bow here and then straight. I don't know what that's about. And they have a little bit of whiting there. So this one, honestly, man, I'd probably measure it in the front, but then just assess this corner. Because that corner looks very, very odd to me, that top left corner. Because I don't know if it's just kind of like how your pictures are being taken, but there's a little bit of like a curve here. I don't know if you guys can see that on stream. But that's what it kind of looks like to me. A little bit of a zoop. A little bit of a dip there. So probably if I had to guess, you're probably looking more of a 9 than 8 just because of the centering and that little bit of weirdness on the left side. But if those aren't the factor, if those don't matter, then you're probably looking at 10. But my gut would say a 9. All right, the Mewtwo, the infamous, chat, probably one of the top Mewtwo cards ever printed by man. The Mewtwo GX, or the Mewtube for short, if you've never seen this card. The circumstances of one's birth is irrelevant. Whoever knows that line, I'll give you 5 big booms if you know where that came from. But until then, we're going to keep on reviewing the Mewtwo GX. Centering is really good on this bad boy. The top right corner looks good. Actually, we have the technology, chat. Let's do some snips. Snips. So top right corner looks good. Top edge looks good. Top left corner looks good. Left edge looks good. Bottom left corner looks good. Bottom looks good. Bottom right corner looks good. So all those edges and all those corners look very, very good. And I think really the big one, and if you guys have ever seen this card in person, this section here or this section here are notorious for getting scratches because it's just like super smooth, super blank. It is very difficult to keep those X sections clean, and I do not see anything in those sections. So far, so good. Now the back is always interesting because for those of you who do not know, this card has a common print defect where there's almost like a spray paint effect on the back side. And let me see if I can actually show you guys what I mean. So normally towards the bottom here, yeah, so see all these little like white speckles here? So like here, here, here. Those are common across all of these Mewtwo GXs. So that is a very common print defect. So if you ever see this in person and you're wondering, well, is it damaged? Is something wrong with it? Chances are it's just a printing defect. Now, obviously, do your due diligence and make sure that it's not actual additional damage. But in most cases, if you see a lot of like clustering of like these little white specks in one of the corners, chances, especially in the bottom right side, it is the print error or print defect of the Mewtwo GX during its printing. Blazing, thank you for liking the live, brother. Appreciate you, Big Hoss. All right, now, having said that, we're going to look at the top right. So the top right, a little bit of whitening there in the top corner, in addition to there on as well. And if you guys are enjoying yourselves, I always appreciate the likes and follows and shares. Definitely means a lot. We have to praise the almighty algorithm. Praise be the math formula. A little bit of whitening on the bottom there. I know I just kind of said this section as prone to whitening, but this one's actually on the edge itself. So that's why I'm trying to make more of a note in this section right here. Yeah, aside from that, I'm always hesitant to kind of call these out as I see them, but we do have a little bit of... Did I see? No, that's part of the O. But aside from that, man, it's really just this. So, this is actually a really good thing to talk about, chat. I know it might seem very insignificant, but from a grading perspective, it is very significant. So sometimes, in most cases, when we see a kind of a ink dot or like an ink removed on this section, you kind of see where it's pink, they will dock you points from the surface grade. Unless it is a notable print defect. I know I was just kind of talking about print defects before, but something like that would most likely hinder your surface score. So an example of areas that it would not would be cards like the holo stamp for like the Hitmonlee in Fossil, or the ink stain error for the Haunter in Fossil. Stuff like that. Those are exceptions. But something like that would most likely prevent you from getting like the 10 because of that little ink dot error. So probably you're in that like 9 to 8 range. I would say if you don't have like the whitening here on the top left and the top right, and just this, you're probably looking at a 9. But if you have those three in addition to this one on the bottom, you're probably realistically looking more at an 8, to be quite honest with you. But that's just the way the world works. How do I send in cards for not pre-gaming food, pre-grading? So this is how you do it. So if you guys want to have your cards assessed in a future grade review, again, this is a free service that I offer. Listening ears ready. You ready? So if you're watching me on Twitch or YouTube, the link is in the description. If you're watching me on TikTok, the link is in the bio. Once you go to said bio, you're going to go to my link tree. From here, once you're in the link tree, you're going to click or tap the Discord icon. Once you're there, you're going to submit your cards in the grade review channel. That is where I will review all the cards that people submit on these Wednesday streams. I do this every day, or not every day, every week on Wednesdays starting at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. It's a completely free service. I do this for the community because I am sick and tired of people posting their grades that they get by GameStop, and they say, oh, why did this get a 9 or a 7? I'm trying to help. I need to help the community. And we're doing it. This is the 76th episode we've been doing this. 77th. And a lot of people have found extreme value in it, and I love to do it for you guys. It is first come, first serve because it is free, so just keep that in mind. But if you want priority grade review, the Discord server does offer a subscription starting at $2.99 a month, which gives you priority every week. It's not required, but it is appreciated. Waste, sending in the GGs. The gamers unite. And if you guys have not seen some VODs, I have played and am still playing Halo campaign co-op with Wasteland. Definitely check her out if you have not done so already. She's definitely the homie. Super cool, super chill. If you like some Armored Core, as well as some other fun, cool, goofy moments, she's the OG. So thank you, Waze. Appreciate you. All right. Now it is time for the certified yap session, chat. We're actually going to go over to the debrief. Hello. My name is Galaxy Gaming, and I'm very hot because it is like 95 degrees in my room. So if I look like a sweaty pig, hello, I'm the sweaty pig. You can clip that. I'm a sweaty pig boy. All right? It's way too hot. It's like 95 degrees in here. It is what it is. So, every week, I have started to ask you guys, you chat, what do you want me to talk about each week? And the winning vote was how to price. And this one is personally my favorite one because I got done with a show on Sunday and I have lost track of how many people simply do not know how to, well, not, let me back up. People know how to price, but it's the consistency of pricing that I feel like people are starting to have a little bit of an issue with, because there is so much data and so much to go off of, because everyone does it different. So I'm going to tell you guys how I do it, both from a buyer perspective and a seller perspective. And I feel like you can clip this video and send it to whoever, because this is how I do my business. It's been really good. I've gotten nothing but positive feedback from it. So I'm just going to basically speak from my experience so that you guys don't get scammed. I don't want you guys watching me to get scammed by people selling you cards, or you getting scammed buying cards over market. So let's start off with the basics, chat. So when we're talking about Pokemon, we're talking about two categories now. It's just that we're 2025. Welcome to 2025. These are the things we got to focus on. Number one, physical raw cards. Not online. I know PSA is doing this like online NFT crap, but we got the if I don't use that. So we have raw, and we have, oh, let's make sure that we're on screen. How about that, chat? When I'm trying to make a point, probably should make sure that it's on the screen. So we have raw, and we have graded. Okay, so we have two different categories of cards, raw and graded. Raw is 9 times out of 10 going to be TCG player. Graded, it's going to be a combination of two. I'm going to tell you both what I use. I use eBay, last sold. So last sold, and I'm going off screen again. So eBay, last sold, and alt. I like, in terms of like all the apps that people use, I really like alt for graded. And on a side tangent, I'll tell you guys why I do so far. It's not sponsored in any way, but it's the only app that I've seen so far that does this. When you look at prices and look at sold listings on alt, it will actually tell you if something has been relisted or canceled. Because when people and you can see, some of you guys might be wondering, hey, Galaxia, why didn't you put price charting on there? Well, I'll tell you why I didn't put price charting on there. Because there are so many sales that don't go through that are listed there as a actionable or a tangible data set. And that's bad. Don't do it. Bad, chat. Bad. Because sometimes those weren't realized. Those were not realized sales. So that's why I don't use price charting. I use eBay and alt, because those directly, alt's API to eBay is probably one of the best that I've seen, because it shows canceled and relisted items. So you can factor that into the price for graded. Are apps like Collector good? I've been using for both. Honestly, Food, I've heard people using Collector. I haven't personally tried using it, but I'm not opposed to it, I guess, because I personally don't have any stake in the game. And the topic is not FOMO. That was last week. Let me just adjust that real quick. Pricing 101, buyer and seller POV. There we go. Look at me, chat. So yeah, so eBay last sold alt for graded, TCG player raw for ungraded. So the next thing that I do for pricing, and this is even before we're even assessing condition, chat. This is way before doing any of it. So when you're looking at a price, so let's say that you are on TCG player looking at a near mint copy, right? And then I'll go into the specifics of condition and whatever. Here's how I calculate price. So for raw, what I do is I first, so just like think about it from like for whatever thing you watch, like content wise for vendor POVs or whatever, a lot of people say at least 3 things. They're either going to tell you this is the average of the card. They're going to tell you this was the last sale of the card. They might even be so bold as to say this is what's currently active, the lowest active listing of the card. So, what the frig do we do with all that information, right, chat? I'm going to tell you what we do, and I'm going to tell you what I do. So what I do for most cards, for TCG player, under a specific dollar amount, it kind of goes both ways. But I do market price, and then plus the last sold, and then divide that by 2. So I do the average. So I do the average of what TCG player says is the market plus the last sold within reason. Within reason. So for example, if there's a card that, you know, has been doing sale after sale after sale of like 20 bucks, 25, whatever, and then the last sale is like 75, I'm not going to factor in the 75. That is clear either market manipulation or money laundering or something crazy that happened. So you have to kind of fall back on the averages if need be. And if you need to fall into the averages, I always do the last 3 to 5 sales within a 6-month window is how normally I do it. So in short, use the market price for the condition, add the last sale within reason, as long as it's not like, wow, like if you have the thought of, wow, that's super high or wow, that's super low, don't use it. Use something that's more consistent. Average those together, and then you'll have your market. So let's say that, you know, let's just do a brand new, let's do a brand new one here. Don't save this beautiful work of art. So let's say, and let me just make sure I don't blind you guys and make sure that I'm in my range here. So let's say that a card market, so let's say market is like $100. Last sale is 90. So the total of this, I know math here, would be 190. And then divide by 2, so because we're doing the average, right? And don't mind me, I'm just going to be using a calculator for some basic math because I am a gamer and I don't know how to do it. So we're at 95. So if I had this card at my show, I would list market at 95. So because the last sold was 90, market's 100, so the last sale can kind of help you determine that the market might be trending down. So that's why I do the last sale, because the last sale is a good canary in the coal mine, so to speak. That's why I do it like that. So for graded, it's kind of the same, but in a different way when kind of determining market. So when grading's involved, here's what I do. So first, I normally just use alt. So let's say, you know, I'm trying to think of an example here. So let's say that on alt for I don't know, like a PSA, like let's say a PSA 8, I don't know, Blastoise. Right, so, and let's say that all these are from like August through June of 2025. Right, so let's say that, you know, last sales are like 300. We got maybe 280. We got 260. We got 279. And let's say we have like a 310. Right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all within this August to June area. So what I do to start with something like this is I average all 5 of those together. So what we get is we get 300 plus 280 plus 260 plus 279 plus 310 equals 1,429 divided by 5. So the average, roughly, is going to be 285.8 is the average of these 5 values. So in addition, so it goes back to what I was trying to make the point. Some people use an average, but some people use the last sold. So I like to add a little bit more weight to the last sold because, again, what I said before with raw also applies here, that raw, or I'm sorry, the last sale is almost, in some instances, the canary in the coal mine, so to speak, because most people are going to see that and reference that often if it's within their favor. If it's going down, for example, they'll always average it. So in this case, we would add plus 300 because that was the last sale. And then so we divide that by 2, right? So the 285.8 plus 300 equals 585, divided that by 2. So the average of the two is going to be 292.9, or in this case, I would probably round it up to 295. So 295 would be my market price, or what I would sticker it at my table for a graded card. So that's how I do the pricing for graded. So before I continue, to summarize, for ungraded, use TCG Player, sort by the assessed condition, which I'll kind of get to in a second with assessed condition, but let's say that you think it's near mint. Select near mint, add the market price plus the last sale. Make sure it's within reason because the market can sometimes get manipulated. So if you're worried, just do the last 3 to 5 averages. Add both those values together and divide by 2. And that's what you get for market price for raw. And then round up or down however you need to by 5. That's how I do it. For graded, I use a combination of eBay last sold and or alt. I primarily stick with alt because I haven't had any issues so far. You add all of the last 5 sales together within a 6-month period. Add them together. Divide by that number. So in this case, we added 5 numbers together. We divided by 5, so we got the average of the last 5 sales. Plus the last sold price, in this case, was 300 because people like to tend to weigh that in during their thought process of what's market. So I add the average of the 5 last sales plus the last sale, divide by 2, and I get what I would list as market price. That's how I've always done it. And it's been good. It's been really good. So that's how I do that. So from a buyer's perspective, you know, you come to this, you see the stickered, and you say, okay, first you go in with the tips I just said. You go, if it's a raw or a graded, you go through the steps, you determine, okay, am I at market? Am I above market? Am I below market? What's going on? The one thing that I am seeing a lot of folks overlook, and I think it's a very important thing to note with folks who are impacted by sales tax, is the absence of sales tax in most situations at shows. And why I bring this up is that it is very important, and most buyers tend to overlook it. And most sellers tend to be defensive, including myself. I've been trying very hard not to come off as being defensive. It's the last thing I'm trying to do, but sometimes it comes off as such. And why do I bring that up? So, for example, if someone brings, like, let's say that we just did this PSAA Blastoise math, and it comes out to $295 online. If I were to buy this card online, if I sticker this at $295, the moment I hit the checkout screen, for example, I have to pay 8% sales tax when I buy something online, right? So $295 times 0.08, I have to spend an additional, so if I do sales tax, is roughly $23.60. So really, if I were to buy this Blastoise, it would not cost me $295. Instead, it would cost me the 23.6 plus $295. So really, the adjusted, right? So the adjusted price would really be $318.60. So the card really doesn't cost me $295. It really costs me $318.6 because I have to pay sales tax. I cannot skip sales tax as an online buyer. So when you look at prices online, and if I had, like, if we're in, you know, the state that I'm in, which is in New York, if you're at a show and I have to legally pay sales tax, I have two options as a seller to make. I can either charge you, the sales tax, so you pay the extra 23.6, or I take it out of my profit. So I basically give you what's called the out the door price. So out the door. So out the door price is really the $295. So when you buy this Blastoise from me, you only pay $295. But once I'm done, I have to give Uncle Sam an extra 23.6. So really, I only make off the sale 271, and I know I'm kind of running out of space here, so 271.4. I'm not making 295. I'm making 271.4 because I have to pay the sales tax at the end. I'm not putting that cost on you, I'm putting that cost on me. So as a buyer and seller, I know I'm kind of going back and forth here, sales tax has to be considered if it applies to your state. If you're in person. Online is different because there's establishing nexus and whatnot. But in person, that is something you have to consider that, when you're negotiating, you're also go into it knowing that you're not going to have to pay sales tax, which should be a savings of X%, X being where what sales tax you would have to be charged at the county that you're in, wherever state you're in. So I tend to I tend to articulate that to the customer to say you're saving X amount of money because this is the out the door price. The market price, what you're seeing online is exactly what you're seeing on the sticker, but it's the out the door price. You not only do you not have to pay the sales tax, but you also get to not have to worry about shipping, and you have the car today, and there is some value in that. But I also think, and I also understand that people want that number to be lower because there are people that make it tough for me as someone who's trying to keep it by the book and above table. There are people who simply don't collect or claim their sales tax, which they can offer lower prices because they're doing things under the table. But for me, I just accept that to where as long as I'm above board and as long as I establish that trust through transparency, that's as best as I can do. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to go red because someone wants, 10% off my sticker, which would make it 18%, right? So the minus 10% from giving them the 10% off, plus the extra negative 8% that I have to pay, which then the thing I like to remind myself is I go to these shows to not have to sell on eBay because my fees on eBay is around 13 to 15%. So anything lower than that, it just why am I here? You know what I mean? And I want to be there. So, so just kind of keep that in mind when you're negotiating. Just know that if you're dealing with a legitimate vendor, everyone has to pay sales tax at the end of the day, whether it's using Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, how they've identified themselves as a business. Just know that sales tax has to be paid somehow, whether it's put on you as the buyer or put on me or put on us as the seller, if that makes sense. So that's always kind of good to kind of factor in. And sometimes it's always good, sometimes from a seller's perspective, and I can kind of give you from my perspective, sometimes it's if I have to, sell something at a 16% fee to get repeat business, that also has an inherent value to me as a seller because that means you'll come back if my rates are good, which I've had people do that too. So that's kind of the both sides of the coin. So hopefully that kind of helps you guys how to kind of do pricing 101. So in short, raw, use TCG Player, graded, in my opinion, use eBay Last Sold or Alt if you're trying to select an app. I factor in a good rule of thumb, just to kind of for both raw and graded, you average the last 3 to 5 sales, omit anything crazy. That's kind of use your best judgment. Average those together, and then once you get the average of that number, add the last sale, and then average those two numbers together to get your market price. And that's both from the buyer's perspective and the seller's perspective. And then if you're in a state that has to process sales tax, realize that that cost has to go somewhere. And so if it's not going to the buyer, it's going to the seller, and both parties need to kind of be aware of that and respect that. Because if someone says, well, I could buy it right now for X amount, and you're in a state that charges sales tax, then that's a good thing to bring up to say, well, if you bought that online right now, you would have to pay an additional 8% because you'd have to pay sales tax. It just is what it is. So that's kind of how I do it. Hopefully that helped. Now it is time for grade reveal. I have a PSA. Look right here. I got this in today, chat. A brand new. Let's see. Hold on. Pause. Just chatting. Pause. A brand new PSA submission that has been delivered to my doorstep today. I have been holding off. I've had the results for about a week, but it was said to be delivered today, and I've held off. Well, aside from removing what my address is, because you weirdos, it's all in here. I haven't looked at it yet. You have to trust. I haven't looked at it. So we're going to look at it together, chat. We're going to look at it together, and we're going to see how it goes. So, to the desk I go. To wheeling over to the desk. We are about to see, did I get cooked, chat? Let's see if I got cooked alive by PSA. So I have the other thing to kind of help you guys figure out here is, let me first charge my phone real quick, is you guys get to see that, hey, Galaxia does all this grade review. What about him? What about when he grades? Is he accurate? Well, you are in luck because I actually keep track when I submit a card for grading. I keep track of what I think it will get. And we are about to show that off today. So I got to pull up my list here of what I thought these would be. So just bear with me 1 second, because I scan all these cards. So let's see. My phone is dead. Okay. There we go. All right, chat. We got a lot of Gym Hero, Gym Challenge in this thing. And so we are going to... So I would say for anything that is vintage, I know for a fact that I don't submit anything that I believe is 7 or lower. So everything that is in here I assessed as 8 or higher. And I have the receipts. So let's take a look. All right. I have sleeves somewhere. Bear with me 1 second, chat. I have grading sleeves, and I'll actually show you guys what I use too, because I think they're really good. I don't have a sponsorship. Someday I probably will, but you got it, Double. That's what I do, man. That's what I do, because it's still near mint at the end of the day. So these are the sleeves that I use. So every time a card comes out of this box, it immediately goes into a sleeve. So look at that, chat. Ooh, ah. All right, here we go. So the first card, because these seem to be never in order anymore, is going to be... Yeah, they're definitely not in order. Okay, so this one is a First Ed Shadowless Chansey, chat. First Ed Shadowless Chansey. And I actually have... The reason why you guys are seeing a blank spot up top is I'm going to turn on my camera real quick. So if you guys are pumped to see me get cooked alive by PSA, let me know in the comments on how hard you think I'm going to get cooked. All right. So this Chansey was assessed as a PSA 4. So this one was a little rough around the edges, but first edition Shadowless nonetheless. So it was definitely a little bit cooked. You can kind of see the back there. So she was cooked alive. But let's see. So the Chansey, First Ed Shadowless. Let's see. 3. So assessed as a 4. 3, 2, 1. And we got the 4. So 1 for 1 so far on the first edition Shadowless Chansey. Ooh. Ah. Yes, chat. Yes. There's a Chansey for a 10. Ag, 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 ag. Someone stop this man. He is going berserk. He's going absolutely hog wild with the zingers. Someone else has to have a zinger. Someone in chat has to have a zinger. We'll put the Chansey. So this is what I was talking about. This little microscope on top, just in case we need to see anything. The Chansey is watching. The Chansey knows what you've done. All of you sinners out there. All right. Next up, the Sabrina's Alakazam, first edition. Wowzers. Sinners and saints, my man. You got it, man. You understand. So this one, my phone went to sleep. This one was assessed as an 8. Sabrina's Alakazam. A lot of Gym Hero, Gym Challenge in this one. So we're going to see Sabrina's Alakazam, first ed, in 3, 2, 1. And it is the 8. So 2 for 2. So far, so good. For vintage, like I said, any vintage. I think the only reason why I submitted the Chanseys, and there's another first ed in here that I'm not going to sneak, is I feel like first editions, just in general, just kind of need to be graded by default. I think those are the only like true exceptions that I have when grading are first ed Shadowless stuff, because most people are going to want them graded to begin with. So the Alakazam takes over the Chansey. There you go, Alakazam. I want to be wrong in a good way, exactly. Now you're getting it. Okay, so this one, my absolute favorite legendary of all time, Zapdos. Again, another first ed Shadowless. This one was assessed as a PSA 3. So this one, this bird was a little rough. I ain't even going to lie to you, chat. This one was a little rough. So assessed as a 3. A lot of whitening on that right edge. You can kind of see all that on the side there. So this one was assessed as a 3. Will we get the 3, chat? Let's see. In 3, 2, 1. The dose. The Zapdos got a dose. That is not intentional. I'm here all night. The puns. That is a certified yiker moment. Not a PSA 1. Didn't even get the anti-10. But that is a rough bird. The PSA 2 first ed Zapdos. The dosey dose. Double is 2 for 2 with the puns right now. If anyone wants to dethrone Dose with the puns, by all means, please. By all means. All right, next up, the Sabrina's Alakazam, still reigning supreme. Rocket's Scyther. This one, I believe, was, let's see, the first edition Rocket's Scyther. This one was assessed as... See, Mike, I like that you're seeing what it is, and I love the other people too. Seeing if I am put my money where my mouth is when it comes to grade review, chat. You guys got me spooked. So this one was assessed as a 9. Or was it a 9? Yes. This one was assessed as a 9. The Rocket Scyther. First edition. Looking good, looking crispy. There wasn't even a lot of... I think there was maybe 2 points of mild whitening in that top right and the bottom left there. PSA submission? I know, Betty. Always watching. You guys are always lurking. All right. So this was assessed as a PSA 9. Wake up, Betty. Nap time's over. We're getting the 9. 3, 2, 1. We got the 9, baby. Let's go. Rocket Scyther. First ed, PSA 9. Wowzers. Can we get some wowzers in the chat? You gotta. I always appreciate the lurkers, man. I let the lurkers be lurking. You know what I mean? You always let the lurkers be lurking. Because I always appreciate even anyone just being in a stream, even if you're just kind of having me chilling. You know what I mean? You don't need to chat all the time, so I always appreciate it. So put the rocket scyther is currently taken lead. But we still got some big boys in here. Ooh, like this Japanese birthday Pikachu 2nd anniversary white star stamp edition. Probably my all-time favorite Pikachu artwork ever is the birthday Pikachu. Wowzer Bowser. Now you're getting it. So, this one was assessed as a 9. I think because of the centering, I believe. I don't think... Was there whitening? No. It was just the centering on the front. But, oh. Love it, love it, love it. The birthday Pikachu Japanese 2nd anniversary white star. Do we get the 9? Let's see. 3, 2, 1. And we do, baby. Let's go. The 9. I'll take it. I'll take the 9. Again, my all-time favorite Pikachu artwork is the birthday Pikachu. We also need the average viewers on Twitch. That's what I'm saying, Betty. That's what I'm saying. We'll get there someday, but for right now, I'm just along for the ride. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, by the way. I always, you guys are the homies, man. Give yourselves a round of applause. For those of you who are new or returning, I always appreciate everyone that takes the time out of their day to hang out with me. Because you guys are the best, man. And it's fun. It's fun nerding out. Ooh, chat. Chat, we got the lizard. Lizard alert. Lizard alert. Holy moly, chat. Lizard alert. We're about to see if I get absolutely fried. So this is the error, which is not the more... It's not the more desired one. The corrected, the revised version is the rarer one, weirdly enough. So this one was assessed as a 8. So this one was assessed as an 8, this Blaine's Charizard. I think because of some whitening on the top left, I believe. If I remember correctly. Yes, some whitening on the corners. So this one was assessed as an 8, but still Blaine, if it's a Zard. What more can we say? So Blaine's Charizard in 3, 2. Oh. We got the 8. The PSA 8 Blaine's Zardy boy. Ooh. Ah. Very nice, chat. Very nice. Wowzer Bowser. I'm just letting you know, Double. I'm taking that from you. Like AI, I am yoinking that phrase from you. So far, we have gotten the Zapdos wrong. Because, believe it or not, I don't really grade a lot of 3s. Ooh, more Gym Challenge. This one was assessed as... Let's see. This one was assessed as... Where is it? This one was assessed as a 9, I believe. Yes. This one was assessed as a 9. The Misties. Plague, what up, brother? You've been gone for a minute, but you've returned to watch a PSA return. Look at you. I have no idea how much it is. But it'll probably... I have 5 more shows in person coming up. That is probably going to go to first. So we're going to see. So this one assessed as a 9. The Misty's Gyarados. So there we go. Hype us up, chat. Do we get the 9? In 3, 2, 1. We do. The 9. This one I was kind of worried about. I'm glad I didn't get the 8. The 9 is good. Rip. Play. Come on, brother. Come on, bro. Don't take my W's away from me like that. Plague says it's been a minute and then takes my thunder. Wow. As what we like to say, wowzer Bowser. Plague taking my W away from me. All right, next up. We still have more. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. And there are 2 in particular that I'm excited to see. Ooh. Mewtwo. Oh, okay. Plague. Backpedaling, I see. I see you, dude. I ain't gonna let you do that. Thunder from down under. Let's go. Mewtwo. This was assessed as... This was assessed as an 8. This Mewtwo. So we'll see. We'll see if it gets the 8. Hopefully not worse. Because worse is not good. So let's see. Mewtwo Hollow. Is it an 8? In 3, 2, 1. Ooh! Wrong in the right direction, chat. It is a 9. Wowzers. Very cool, very nice, very fresh, very neat. Very demure. Finally, wrong in the right direction. That's what I'm saying. Because I don't want to be so wrong, you know what I mean? I'd rather be wrong in the right direction by 1 point. Because then I could just say, like, oh, like, I just think everything's a PSA 1. Like, oh, look at me, so accurate. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you guys would call me a great big phony. All right. Ooh. So pretty much anything that is modern. Anything that is modern in this, I think there's 3. There's the Carmine, and there's 2 others. All were assessed. I think there's 3 that I assessed as 10s. The Carmine was one of them. Yeah, I'll let you even crack it open. I see you, Mike. I see your schemes. Scheming boy. So the Carmine, this one was assessed as a 10. So with modern, it's 10 or bust for me. I've said it time and time again. So let's see. The Ramen Carmine. Does it get the 10? Let's see. In 3, 2, 1. And it does, baby. The Carmine PSA 10. Wowzers. Very nice. First 10. First 10 of the night. We didn't get completely smoked. You need her, Betty. You'll have to let me know how many, because I feel like you're like so close to having all the full art trainers. If you guys are enjoying yourself, make sure to slam that like button for that PSA 2. If you like that PSA 2 Zapdos, slam that like button. Because who doesn't like a fresh PSA 2? PSA 2 Zapdos. Ooh, this one's actually pretty cool. This one was one that I was like, I have no idea how much thing is this worth. Probably not that much, but I thought it was cool. The Breloom. The Hollow Breloom from Deoxys. This one was one of the kind of like vintage / mid-era that I thought would get a 10. This one was one of them. Yeah, right? Just slam it in my laundry machine, make everything a PSA 1. So this Breloom, what I assessed as a PSA 10. So this one I thought would be pretty cool to get from Deoxys. So let's see. Let's see if they blessed. Did the Deoxys Breloom get a 10 in 3, 2, 1. And it did. Look at that. Gem Mint 10, Breloom Hollow from Deoxys. That's a weird combination of words to say, because Deoxys is an insane set. So having any hollow from that set as a 10 is kind of crazy. Even though it's probably like $70. But let's see. I'm actually curious. Wow. So this card, chat. Let's see. This card is. Make sure it's in frame first. We like to. Let's see. Let's see what the pop is on this bad boy. Because I feel like no one grades this card. Let's see. 1, 2, 1, 4, 6, 3, 8, 7, 3. Let's see, chat. Chat, this card is a pop 13. This is a pop 13. Wow. There's only 13 of these bad boys. Pop 13 of the Hollow Breloom. Look at me, controlling the market. Lucky 13. I know. That's what I'm saying. And probably Breloom was one of my favorite Gen 3s. Because the grass fighting mechanic was kind of cool. But just got absolutely destroyed by flying types. Ooh. Here we go. Ghastly. Another PSA 10 contender. I think this was the only other. I think this is the last of the 3 that I thought would get PSA 10. The Ghastly. Well, let's take a look. Does it get the 10 in 3, 2, 1? And it does, baby. Let's go. Ghastly PSA 10. So far, we're cooking with gas, chat. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. But there are 2 cards. Someone has to stop this man. Double, you are unhinged, brother. You are diabolical at best. But the PSA 10 Ghastly, look at that. The Gengars and the Haunters, and gotta put that up there. There we go. So there's 2 cards in here, chat, that I'm very eager, and this is one of them. Holy. All right, chat. The banned Sabrina's Gengar. Probably my chase. So let me show you why I say this is a chase. So there are very few cards that I actually try to collect for my PC. One of them currently, and I have 2 in this submission, are banned artworks. I'll pretty much, if I ever get one in person or gift it to me, I'll grade it. I don't care what it will get back. So for example, here are some of my graded stuff so far that is not from the submission. So the Sabrina's Gaze, the Kogas as a PSA 3, the Grimer as a PSA 4, and the Jinx as a PSA 9. So I really do like the banned artwork because of the history. And so anytime I get one from my booth or pick one up or have a chance to pick one up, I always grade it regardless of what I think it's going to get. So this one I believe I assessed as, I believe it was an 8, if I remember. Yes. So this one was assessed as a PSA 8. The Sabrina's Gengar. So let's see. With the spooky tombstones in the background. Hopefully you guys are old enough to see tombstones. So assessed as an 8. Do we get the 8 in 3, 2, 1? Got the 7. It's all right, chat. It's all right. Save your tears. Save your pities. That one is a pretty nice one to have in the old collection of mine. So that's cool. So there's only a few more that I'm missing for my banned artwork that I pick up through shows. Because it's not as fun just buying them online. I like to actually hunt them at shows. So it's kind of cool to do that. Resub. I don't want to re-encourage the current phrase of please submit again. All right, so this Blaine's. So we had another blend. Blaine's Arcanine. Like I said, a lot of gym challenge in this submission. So this one was assessed as... Blaine's was assessed as a 8. So Blaine's assessed as an 8. Beautiful card. I love this artwork of the Arcanine, for sure. I got my Sabrina's Band Gengar for 40 bucks. Jeez. Oh, the Oranguru, is that the one with the what's it called? The hammock or whatever? So Blaine's. Does it get the 8? 3, 2, 1. And it does. Boom, baby. Look at me, chat. Me almost fully accurate. But I still think they printed that, right? It's not, it's, or like that stupid, what's that, with a Seismitoad? It's like, oh, it's got the 6s in it because of the leaves or whatever. It looks like 666. It's gonna get banned. Shut up. Ooh. Now the other version. So first we had, where is it? So we have, so here it is, chat. Very cool, side by side. You don't see this often. So, again, for those of you who don't know, this Gengar was banned. And in its replacement, because of the tombstones in the background, they made this one. They whitewashed all of the tombstones in the background, so you can barely see them. But it's kind of cool. See both side by side. It's pretty rare that you do. So this one was assessed as an 8. Look at that. I feel like his grin is telling me that it's not going to be an 8. But I feel like we'll see. Sabrina's Gengar. Does it get the 8? With the neck swirl. In 3, 2, 1. And it gets the 7. Dang it. Both my Gengars got a 7. Look at that holo, chat. Holy. I've said it once, and I'll say it every time I see this card. This card is by far one of the hardest cards to get as a 10 because of all that holo on that surface is so prone to scratches. It is unbelievable. So that is an extremely hard card to get as a 10. So we have one more card, chat. One more card, and it is another banned card. This one was gifted to me by a good friend of mine in the community. Kimmy's Cards. Shout out Kimmy. She knew I was collecting the banned stuff, and we got some good old-fashioned Moo Moo milk. Just straight slurping. So this one, I don't even think I assessed, but I believe the back of the napkin, I believe, was a 9 for this one. It was pretty clean, but not a 10. But again, if I get these, I grade them. It just is what it is until I'm done. So does the banned Moo Moo milk get the 9? Let's see. Moo Moo milk in 3, 2, 1, and it does. The Moo Moo milk as a 9, baby. Very nice. So the banned artwork collection grows, chat. The only ones I feel like I'm missing are a lot of the, I think there's 2 other Jinx ones from Gym Hero and Gym Challenge. I'm missing the slot machines, and I'm missing the Mag Mortar. I think I'm done after that. The Moo Moo milk should have gotten a 10. So here's a recap of everything that we've gotten tonight. Let's review here. Where's my Gengars here? So we got, out of the 15, Sabrina's Gengar as a 7, predicted to be an 8. This one was also predicted to be as an 8, came back as a 7. Ghastly predicted as 10, came back as the 10. Moo Moo Milk predicted as 9, came back as a 9. Blaine's predicted as an 8, came back as an 8. Breloom came back as a 10, predicted as 10. Carmine predicted as 10, came back as a 10. Blaine's predicted as 8, came back as an 8. Mewtwo predicted as an 8, came back as a 9. Misty's Gyarados predicted as an 8, came back as a 9. Birthday Pikachu predicted as a 9, came back as a 9. Rocket Scyther first edition, predicted as a 9, came back as a 9. Sabrina's Alakazam, predicted as an 8, came back as an 8. Zapdos, predicted as a 3, came back as a 2. And last but not least, Chansey, predicted as a 4 and came back as a 4. So all in all, pretty good. I'd say really the only thing was just the English Sabrina's Gengar, but aside from that, I can't complain. Those were pretty dope. So that was I don't know, I thought it was a pretty good submission. What do you guys think? Do you think I got cooked alive, chat? Am I cooked? Am I cooked with my band artwork? My band cards, bruh? Am I cooked alive? The world may never know. I don't know where I put them. I think they're right here. I think I showed you guys. Did I show you guys what I picked up at the show? I actually took a picture of it and I put it on my Instagram, but I don't think I actually showed you. You know what? Bonus round. I'm going to show you guys what I picked up at the Sunday show. You guys ready? So Sunday show pickups. If you guys did not see them, I posted them on Instagram. We are so close to 900. I feel like I'm going to be doing a giveaway here when I hit 1,000 Instagram followers. So if you're not following my Instagram, if you want a shot at free stuff, go follow me on Instagram. Yes, I am selfishly plugging. I don't care. So here are some of the cards I picked up at Sunday's show. And so the stuff was here. So we got the Steelix. A hard working man. That's Steelix. Next we got the Charmander promo. Pretty nice, pretty sick. Next we picked up the Flareon V. Nice, nice. Next we picked up the Palkia V. I think there's only one card in here that was light play. The rest were all near mint. Charizard VMAX. Shiny. Ooh. Ah. Magikarp. The big boy himself. Next. Tina. Giratina V. That was a big one. That one almost knocked out all my cash for the show. Mew EX. That was getting me really close to knocking out all my cash at the show. And then I have, right now, it's getting treated, but I have a Gengar VMAX as well. Bulbasaur. Ooh. Ah. Mewtwo and Mew tag team. I probably got cooked because it's probably hyped, but looks cool, I guess. Here's for this price tanking in a month and me losing money. So there's that. Espeon EX. Because I am now in a spot where I think Prismatic has kind of hit a really, really big low. And I was like, you know what? I think it's time to pick up Prismatic. Another Ghastly. So now I have a raw copy and a graded copy. So that's pretty cool. And the Gardevoir, this one is the only LP one. It has a little bit of whitening on the back, but it was like LP plus, so I decided to pick it up. So pretty nice. And then last but not least was the Mega Mewtwo EX. So that was pretty dope. And so I only picked up 2 graded cards at the show, so let me go get those. I thought they were pretty cool. But for whatever reason, and I have to figure out like how I want to handle some. I have like too big of graded cards, and I know it's kind of like a weird problem to have, but I often have a lot of like higher end PSA graded stuff that tends to not move a lot. So first, I picked up this PSA 10 Rayquaza GX. I really like the Hidden Fates premium collection from like the Shiny Vault, like the Umbreon, the Espeon, the Leafeon. I really like this style of shinies, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then I picked up this PSA 9 Blastoise EX from Fire Red Leaf Green. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, so that was so those two, if you didn't see it on my Instagram, that's what I picked up. And if you guys want me to have a new giveaway unlocked, go check out my Instagram and make sure to follow, brothers and sisters. Because I probably will do a new giveaway at 1,000 Instagram followers. So that's in my link in my bio. Selfish plug, I know, but it's a selfish one. So let me go back. Where am I? Where's my face? Just chatting. There we go. This is all my inventory stuff, chat. You know what? We'll just... You know what? Do you guys want to see some of my inventory? I made a video about it. If you didn't see it, naughty. You would see all this stuff. But if you want to see my inventory, I can pull some stuff out. All right here. All the juicy goodness is all right in here. Got slabs. I got a bunch of stuff. The Mew. The Mew EX. So on Sunday, I had this at that price. Which is crazy because I had, at the show, when I picked up that Mew EX, the market was $430 and I had mine at $400. Just saying. Let's see. What else is in here? Let's just grab a random section. Like this. See, this is the stuff that, like, no one wanted to touch. Lugia V, PSA 10. People are afraid of the bird. Or what else? I don't know. What about this? Shadowless. Venusaur, PSA 8. That Mew you picked up at the show have eyes? What do you mean, brother? You're memeing me beyond belief. I don't know what you mean. What else? Let's see. Or this one. The Misty's Favor, PSA 10. Had it for $9.80 on Sunday. Holy poke on TikTok. Holy. The OG. Poke, you get to see pretty much your all the... Look at the Bubble Mew again. Let's look at the Bubble Mew again. All right, what about it? What am I looking at here? What am I looking at? The other one. What am I looking at, brother? Let's see. I'm going back to the desk. You better point out. Wait. You better point out. Did it have eyes? This one? What about it? What am I looking for? I don't know. I don't know. Am I too old, chat? Do I not know what he's talking about? I think I'm getting too old. Looks like it doesn't have eyes. Brother, what are you talking about? Because I have this one, right? Let's look side by side, right? Because his eyes are closed in both, right? So it's literally both. So what are you talking about? Am I dumb? Don't answer that, chat. I don't know. Maybe I'm a silly goose. But anyway, let's see. We're just gonna keep showing off. So this is some of the stuff that just didn't get picked up on Saturday or Sunday. Let's see. Let's see. I had, for whatever reason, I can't. Let me see if I can find it. Like this. PSA 9 First Ed Dark Zard. No one wanted this lizard. Ah, gotcha. So it's probably the saturation of the camera. I see what you guys are talking about. Let's see. I'm gonna show you guys one from my PC that I brought out there. Like here. Look at this one. PSA 10 Blaziken VMAX. I had it out there for $5.95 on Sunday. No one wanted this bad boy. Back into the bin it goes, chat. I'm just gonna start throwing them away. Here's another one from my PC that I upgraded. Shadowless Blastoise PSA 8. And it was just like nothing but gas. And look at this, chat. I got one of these graded. Hold on. Of course, I can't find it. I probably won't be able to. Will I find it? No, I won't. Nope. But the Dragonite V. Oh, I'm throwing them away. Who likes Pokemon anymore, chat? These are all... I'm throwing these all away. Fire sale. Oh, I got... Yeah. Well, these bad boys. Boom. One I graded. One I bought on eBay. Boom. Boom shakalaka. Both Dragonites. What else? Now I'm just showing you guys some... If you guys want me to... Here's another card I've been trying to pick up a crazy amount because I just love the artwork. Is the Umbreon GX. PSA 10. Fire Chicken Sale, man. You got it. Gem in 10. But, oh, here it is. Here was what I actually had in my PC. The PSA 9 Unlim Charizard. Wowzers. Because this got upgraded with a very special card that I will never sell unless I am like, unless I really need it, which is the Shadowless Zard. That thing, the first Ed Shadowless Zard will be in my PC forever. Till the end of my days, that thing will be in my personal collection. But this is what it replaced. PSA 9 Zard. Let's see. And aside from that, just a bunch of random single stuff. Like this Ho-Oh that I just squeaked by. Where is it? This one right here. Reverse Crystal Ho-Oh. And what else? I'm looking through the camera. The Jirachi, apparently that's like 175 randomly. I don't know why, because the market's nuts and likes to bump stuff up randomly. What grade is the Shadowless? The first Ed Zard was a PSA 4. But I will never probably have an opportunity to have that card in my personal collection ever again. And so I was like, I'm not missing this opportunity. The Shadowless copy was... So the two graded stuff I sold on Sunday was the Shadowless Unlimited Zard as a PSA 4 and then the Charizard EX 151 PSA 10. Those are the only two that I sold. Aside from that, it was all just a bunch of singles. But this is the main inventory. I try to consolidate it as much as I can so it's easy for me to transport. But it's a Pelican case that has all these little like sneaky compartments in it. It's really nice. I had the foam custom made that carved them all out. Put all the stuff in there. Oh, and one thing I did get was this, chat. This was probably the coolest thing I got all day. This was a gift. The Mewtwo versus Mew VHS tape. Holy, chat. Holy. If you guys did not cry when Ash, turned to stone. Look at this. And it didn't get moldy. Oh, do you guys have you guys even know? Yeah, roughly around there, double. Look at that. No mold on that bad boy. Do you guys even know what this is? I know Poke does. What is this, chat? Huh? Do you guys even know what this is? I'll be the boomer. I'll be the guy gatekeeping. Good old-fashioned VHS, brothers. Holy. Look at that. Now you're about to see my cat. Miss Faye is making her first appearance tonight. Not ever, but for tonight's stream. She's making her first appearance. She's over there somewhere. Can't see her yet. And now she's going away. She just jumped off. That's what I'm saying, dude. That thing was clean. I had no mold on it. I thought it was going to be, like, when I was gifted it, I thought it was going to be, like, super moldy. And it wasn't. Oh, here's some other stuff just floating around. Did I ever show you guys this? Look at this. Pokemon Ruby Sapphire promo coin. Ooh, look at Kyogre. Look at him. Look at him, chat. Ooh. Ah. Floating around in the liquid goop. Look at it. Promo available March 19th, 2003. Immerse yourself in the region of Hoenn. Wow. Pokemon Sapphire version promo coin. You know what? You know what's funny? Double. I play golf, and my buddy got this for me for Christmas one year because he wanted me to use it as a golf token, and I was so tempted. I was so tempted to rip it out. But I like it like this because if I grade, I don't know if you can grade the cardboard either, but it's pretty cool. But and now it just sits in my little corner. A ball marker. Yep. I was about to use it as a ball marker for golf. Because why not? Could you imagine flexing like that? Like show up at the golf course and just put a Kyogre Sapphire coin as your ball marker? You know how much aura you'd get from doing that? Like infinite amount. What else do I have, chat? Now it's just show and tell. You guys, we're in the late game. We're in show and tell status. You guys better buckle up. Like this one, Pokemon Red and Blue Guide. How to become a Pokemon Master. Special Pikachu edition. You have all the strategy guides. If you guys don't know how to play Pokemon Yellow, there you go. Spoilers, right there. Yeah, I love like collecting just random stuff like this. I love it. Or this one. The other thing I really like are the collector. Oh, I know, Poke. I mean, why would you, right? Like this stuff right here. This one, I always find these to be so funny. These unofficial price guides, like before the internet existed. Let me see if I can pull this without destroying my entire setup because it's literally right above. And I did. So you guys can't see me anymore because I accidentally unplugged my webcam. So, you guys, I'm disconnected. Yeah. I'm no longer of this planet because my webcam DC'd. So yeah, it was the collector's value guide. But anyway, well, too much swag getting shown off. I think that is my cue to leave. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. It's always fun to hang out with the homies. If you guys enjoyed yourself, if this is your first time here, thank you for stopping by and watching me. Hopefully you guys follow so I can see you again. I stream every Wednesday, and it's always cool to hang out with the homies. And if you want to see more and hang out and share more, the Discord is in the bio in my link tree. Love to hang out and see your collection there as well. Until then, guys, have a great rest of your night. Am I still frozen? Let's see. I bet I am. You know what? I'll just give this to you. Look at that. That's your guys' little treat. Your little midnight treat. That's me frozen in time forever. Never to be seen again. All because I was trying to show you guys some cool stuff. So, thank you guys for hanging out, and I will see you in the next one. Again, I stream every Wednesday starting at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, so I will see you